And that's why today is not just about self-care practices, but it's about learning to reconnect with yourself.
Just tell me when to switch.
So this space is for reflection, restoration, and growth. So I want to encourage you to just take a breath and arrive in this space, because many times as women, we go into spaces with a lot on our minds. We're carrying a lot of pressure. We're managing our household. We are managing job responsibilities. And many times we go into spaces without feeling safe to just breathe. So today, I want you to breathe, and I want you to take in the information so that you can thrive in your everyday life. So the next 45 minutes, we want to release the pressure to perform. We perform every day. We get up, we have to smile, we have to go to work and manage certain things and have a smile on our face, even when things are going on the inside of us, where it challenges who we are. It challenges us just to thrive on a daily basis. So I want to start off by telling my story. There was a season of my life where I believe strength meant never stopping. Like, it's a saying that a woman's job is never done. We keep moving, we keep doing things, we keep showing up for everyone else. And I saw myself just being exhausted, depleted, and not really knowing who I am in that season. So one day, I asked myself a very difficult question. It was honest, but a very difficult question. When did strength start costing me myself? When did your strength start costing you yourself? Think about it. And that question changed the trajectory of my life. So today, it's not about perfection. It's not about performance. Today is simply about awareness. So today we're going to explore survival patterns, emotional triggers, and practical self-care strategies. And my hope is that you don't leave here just inspired, but you leave here equipped. Because real self-care is deeper than what social media shows us. It's more than spa days. It's more than getting your hair and nails done. Although those things are wonderful. Like, who doesn't want to get their hair and nails done, go on vacation, spa days? Those are great. But real self-care is what helps keeps you from emotionally, mentally, and physically breaking. And many of us, we wait until we're exhausted. Like, we wait until we're depleted to give ourselves permission to rest. But self-care is necessary. It's necessary for us to thrive and reclaim our power. Self-care impacts more than just one part of our lives. Self-care is holistic. It's a system of care. It impacts us emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. one area is neglected too long, we eventually, the other areas in our life suffers. The other part of the system suffers because it's holistic. That is why self-care is not a one activity thing. It's not a one action. It's a system of care. So today, I want you to pause and honestly reflect for a moment. And I'm gonna give you 1 minute just to complete this. What does your current self-care pattern say about your life right now? What area of your life do you need to take up care of more? So how many of you was able to reflect and write something down? Great. So our habits often reveal what normalize us. And sometimes what we normalize is burnout. How many of you have ever found yourself feeling emotionally burned out, physically burned out? I love that. Mentally burned out. Burnout is a signal. And for a long time, I thought burnout simply meant I needed to work harder. I needed to show up more. I need to say more. I need to do more. But I realized that's not what I want to be. Burnout is not a weakness. So it's not saying that something is completely wrong with you. It's an indicator that something needs attention. Your mind needs attention. Your body, it needs attention. So it's very important to pay attention. I remember years ago I had this, I would say a hoopty. And I was driving the car, and the battery signal came on, and it just stayed there. I looked at it, I kept driving it. And one day, that battery light just started blinking, 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 blinking. And at that moment, my car started rumbling, and it collapsed. It just stopped working. Sometimes we're that car. Something is signaling us to rest. It's telling us to slow down. It's telling us that we need to rest. And I remember, at that moment, anytime, the battery, there's a situation there, it's either the battery is done or you need to restart it. How many of you feel like you need a restart of your battery? Well, most of us do, because I do sometimes. So, I want to give you examples what burnout can look like. Because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we feel like it's normal because we have normalized it. So burnout can show up as emotional numbness. like your emotions are just dissolved, like you can't feel anymore. Irritability, you're moody all the time. You're not regulated. Constant exhaustion, even when you sleep 8 hours, you wake up tired. Overworking without rest. We're saying yes to everything. We keep moving. We're working hard, and we're not resting. We're not taking daily breaks, I call it micro breaks. Throughout the day, taking 5-10 minutes, just relaxing your mind away from everything. Feeling disconnected from yourself. When was the last time you checked in with yourself? When was the last time you journaled? When was the last time you meditated and prayed? Whatever works for you to reconnect with yourself, or just connect with yourself every day. That is so important. So one of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to push harder when we're already depleted. Think about that car. Imagine if I just would have looked at the icon, the blinking icon there, and I would have took action. Maybe I needed to restart the battery or replace it. But then the car could have continued to operate effectively. And sometimes we make the mistake to push harder when there's already signs. But awareness changed everything. It changes everything. Awareness, it helps us recognize what's draining us before we completely collapse. So I had to learn a skill. I had to learn a tool to help me understand how to interrupt the survival mode. I had to learn that pausing was not a weakness. It's a tool. It's something that we need to do because it helps with awareness. So sometimes we are carrying so much emotionally that we stop checking in with ourselves. Pausing allows you to check in with yourself. So before automatically reacting, we want to pause. Step back from it and ask yourself, what am I carrying right now? What do I actually need? How do you know what you need without asking yourself? What can wait? And one of the greatest ways that we protect ourselves from burnout is boundaries. Someone say boundaries. Boundaries. Yes. So for years, thank you. So for years, I thought constantly saying yes made me dependable. Like I wanted to be that girl, right? I wanted to make sure I show up for all my loved ones, my friends, my church family. You know, I want someone to say, if someone is going to be here, it's going to be Sophia. If someone's going to come through for me, it's going to be Sophia. But eventually, I realized sometimes overextending ourselves is not kindness. It's self-abandonment. You can care without caring. You can love without always showing up, especially if your peace is on the board. We want to make sure we are at peace. So when boundaries are missing, burnout grows. I don't know about you, but when I was burnt out, or when I become burnout, I become resentful. Like, I'm doing all of this, I'm not at peace, doing this because I love these people, and I become overwhelmed. So resentment grows, overwhelm grows, emotional exhaustion grows, and slowly I disconnected from myself. You disconnect from yourself. Because every yes costs something. And every time you say no to something draining you, you're saying yes to your peace. You're saying yes to your rest. You're saying yes to your capacity. Well, ultimately, you're saying yes to yourself. How many of you ready to say yes to yourself? I love that. So one of the healthiest things you can do is pause automatically before saying yes. One of the healthiest things you can do is pause before automatically saying yes. And ask yourself, do you have the capacity? Although sometimes we neglect those signals, but we also know when we're tired. We may not admit to it, but we know when we're tired. So you should ask yourself, can I carry this? Do I have the capacity to come through for this person? So I encourage you to pause, reflect, and respond intentionally. So another reflection question. Where do you need stronger boundaries in your life right now? What areas that you need to say no to say yes to yourself?
My right side to you. You cannot change a pattern you refuse to recognize. So emotional awareness helps us understand what we feel, what triggers us, and how emotions shape our responses. So this is the emotional awareness piece. Survival mode often sounds like, I'm coming to you and I ask you, how are you doing? I'm fine, but you're not. You're angry, you're upset, you're overwhelmed, you're not fine. I'll just push through. Why are we pushing through when we're already depleted, when we're already tired? I'll deal with it later. Some things need to be addressed right away. For your mental health and for your self-care. So constantly pushing through has a cost. We want to make sure that we're taking care of the whole self. We want to make sure that we are resting, we are having boundaries, and we're understanding our emotions. So every reaction usually starts with a trigger. And that is, a trigger is what happened or what happened. Emotion, what do you feel? And And then a response, how do you react? So emotional awareness helps us slow down, it helps us pause, and to respond intentionally. And this is where intentionality matters. Instead of reacting automatically, pause long enough to respond intentionally. So these are examples. I want to provide an example of how a trigger looks. So I come to you and I ask you for help when I'm already exhausted. And I say yes out of guilt without pausing. And now I feel overwhelmed. So it's very important that we acknowledge our capacity before responding. It's okay to say, I care about you, but I don't have the capacity right now. I care about you, but I will not be able to attend. I care about you, but I also have resources available for you. Sometimes we can be resourceful. So ladies, these are 4 steps that can completely shift how we respond emotionally. You can pause, name what you feel, identify the trigger, and choose your response intentionally. So I would like to do an activity. It's an activity with your partner, and if you don't have a partner, you can go by yourself. I'll give you guys like 6 minutes to do this. I see the smiles. So you're gonna identify a trigger. It can be based off of something you're feeling right now or you have felt, or you can just create a scenario. Notice the emotion and reflect on your response. So if you can find a partner, maybe someone next to you. You can choose from any one of those questions. If you would like to share, I feel like we're in a safe place. If you would like to share, stand up and share something. I believe someone.
Raise your hand, it will give you a mic so we can hear you.
I think many of us find it difficult to say no to people, and we feel like we have to justify why we're saying no instead of just saying, I'm not available for that. Because we do immediately, oh yeah, sure, I need help, I'm the one who wants to be needed, I've got the thing, I can do this. And it's very hard just to step back and go, maybe someone else needs an opportunity. And trust that somebody else will step up if we step back, and it's okay. But it's hard, it's really, really hard.
Yes, yes. It's a skill you have to continuously be. One more. Stand up. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll try to keep this brief. I'm just a talker. I've been struggling lately with, I always want to control everything. I feel like that's something everyone can relate to. I'm self-coaching through expectations on others. I think, I show up this way. I can communicate clearly. Why can't you meet me here? And it's been a really difficult thing to navigate, to let that go and just know that people are all of their experiences and all their limitations, and what one person excels in and another person does not. That's what makes us great. That's what makes us unique. But that's one thing I'm trying to work on.
Yeah, good. Thank you for sharing. I love it. So ladies, this actually concludes this session, but I just want to leave you with this. The goal is awareness. It's intentionality. And the goal is learning to come back to yourself. And that was the goal of this session. So I just want to say thank you so much for
Such a cool lady under pressure, really. I mean, such a cool lady under pressure, because I have to give you a hug because I feel sorry. I'm so sorry for how that started out with my technical difficulties here. Thank you all for your patience as you head back over. If anybody, there are